Hello and welcome to Totally Rovers with Luke and Liam, a couple of Blackburn Rovers fans talking about Blackburn Rovers. It's not been a great week. We're going through a rough patch at the moment. On the pod this week with our Rovers roundup, we're going to be looking at the Carabao Cup game against Bradford City. Then we're going to talk about Lewis Travis and the club's and his future at Blackburn Rovers. And then we're going to talk about the first home game in the Championship against Birmingham City. So, before we get started, how are you doing today, Liam?
Not too badly. Better than Rovers. But then that's not difficult right now, is it?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I'm off work this week, but I've not really done a lot with it. Just chilled out.
Having a bit of rest,
A lot of days out with the dog and stuff like that. Taking the kids to Manchester on Tuesday. So yeah, I've had kids come around a few times, a couple of sleepovers. So yeah, no, it's been alright. It's been nice.
You had a good break there, and a good bit of respite.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, good. That's good to hear. So, my week though, well, just work, Rovers, going to the gym, and sorting out my garden, keep on top of stuff like that. Really, just
Nothing wrong with
normal
that.
everyday life.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, let's get started onto the Carabao Cup game against Bradford City, which happened earlier in the week.
So, did you get to watch the game?
I did. I managed to watch the game.
I couldn't get a link to work for myself, and I wasn't at the game. So, unfortunately, I only could go off the highlights, and I followed the live commentary feed. That's best I could do. So, I'm probably best off asking you the questions on this one.
Yeah, it's usually me asking questions, isn't it? So the
It is.
tables have turned.
Oh,
So go on,
indeed.
fire them away.
So, firstly, how was the game for starters? Because I know it was a completely different team. I noticed that we had a completely different setup from the first game of the season against West Brom. So there's that to take into account. But then also the fact of the matter is, as you know, we conceded two very early goals, and it seemed like we just struggled to find a way back into the game. But obviously, you will have been more aware of what was going on from watching it. So, what about your take on it?
The first goal, we couldn't really done much about it. But then again, we weren't, I think, our marking, and there was an unmarked man in the box that gifted Bradford the first goal, which was a great volley, to be fair to him. It was a really good goal.
I saw the goal. It was a cracking goal.
The second one, though, I was more annoyed than anything. And it's a shame it was Nick Michalski's full debut after signing a new contract with the club. But this could have been avoided, so easily avoided. That first goal, it was just a very, very sloppy mistake. The ball was passed back from one of the Rovers defenders, and then Nick Michalski was trying to be a bit too clever with his footwork, and Swan for Bradford City seized the opportunity, got the ball off him, out-muscled him, and then an open net, and obviously the ball went into the net. Now, in that situation, what Michalski should have done was just stick to the basics and just kick the ball out, hoofed it away. It does put me on edge a bit when goalkeepers, try and play from the back. And when you've got a player from the attack on the opposition running up towards you and pressing, don't mess about. Just get it out of danger. And we had to play catch up, obviously, with the game against Bradford. And Dion Deneve got the goal into the second half. Mac Tagay did have a shot on target, but it weren't really much on there. But Tavares and Tijon looked okay in that midfield and on the attack. But it just really wasn't. It was just a disgraceful performance against Bradford. I mean, I couldn't really. I just couldn't believe it, if I'm going to be brutally honest with you. It was such an awful game. I mean, Carabao came on for Axel Henriksen, which added a bit of pace. Alabiosu came on for Sondre Tronstad, which came on, and he got Montgomery in midfield and Ran Alabiosu at right back. Montgomery had an attempt on goal, but he looked quite clumsy for Rovers in the game. We were just sloppy in possession in general, so I can't just blame Christian Montgomery on that and single him out for it. But when we've got our stronger players on, we've got Cantwell on or Hashi on. There was a lot more threatening on the counter attack, but we just couldn't get. We were just poor in our final third, and even John Buckley got some minutes as well, which got me thinking on whether or not he's still got a future at Rovers, or whether he's still going to be in the fringe of the squad or not, or if he's trying to fight his way back in. And even he had a attempt on goal as well. But it's just brutal. It's just absolutely frustrating to watch. It was an embarrassing cup exit, if anything's to go by. I can't make it for him.
I watched the highlights and I saw the second goal, and it just was comedy of error. It just was. It was, but not in a funny way.
Well, that was fucking dreadful.
No.
For maybe a neutral fan or people who are anti-Rovers, it probably was a comedy of errors. That was very hilarious for him. Wasn't funny for us to watch. It was painful.
I mean, if there's like a compilation of own goals and gaffes and all like that would be on there without question from Nick Michalski. I know he's young, but even at that age, you should know not to make mistakes like that. I mean, if you can't try and do fancy footwork as a goalkeeper, you just keep it out, kick the ball out in situations like that. It so could have been easily avoided, and we made a rod off our own backs after being 2-0 down as well. It was absolutely frustrating. So we'd gone out on the cup exit in disgrace, and Lewis Travis was an unused sub. Speaking of Lewis Travis, it all came to light that he wanted to leave Derby County after Valérien Ismaël casually mentioned in the interview to the media that he wants to leave Rovers to go to Derby County.
On the window, there have been reports that Lewis Travis has been subject to a bid from Derby County. Is there anything you can kind of add to those reports or react to those reports?
No, at the minute I think Travis was on the bench today. We know that is any interest. He wants to leave, but we say that if the price is right for the club, like we make like Callum Brittain, then we will see. But at the minute, it's not the case.
So until your valuations matched, you're not willing to let him go.
Exactly.
Okay. How keen are you to have this transfer window closed?
Yes, very soon. I think I understand now, and think that it's very difficult when you prepare with the team 6 weeks and prepare for the first game, and just 10 days before the kickoff, you have completely a chaos situation. And I think that maybe on the first match day, the window should be shut to make sure you can prepare yourself and to have the chaos a little bit earlier in the pre-season. But we have to deal with the situation. But we have to see that it became a problem for us.
You mentioned that he said that he would like to leave. Does that make it an awkward situation to have or not?
No, because when a player is out of contract or 1 year left on his contract, he look of himself. It's not only about Travis, it's about all the football world. It's exactly like that. So everyone look at himself, become focus on himself, which is understandable. But we are doing the same as a club. We have a clear idea what we want, and so either we keep our captain, or someone match the price we expected.
So that's pretty much thrown spanner in the works for Rovers right now, Lewis Travis's future, and it's looking very likely he's going to be going. So what do you make of the situation with our soon-to-be departing captain, which is what it looks like to be at the moment?
I'm disappointed, but at the end of the day, there's going to be the contract issue in a year's time or so anyway. So I'm glad we've turned down the first bid, because I think he's well worth more than that. I'd be happy if we can get 2 to 3 million at least for him.
Yeah, I think $1.5 million, which was rumored to be the bid for Travis, is a bit of an insult to us.
Yeah.
Given what he offers to us, his age and his experience in the Championship with his attributes. Exactly. So
leader on the pitch. I want at least 2.5 to 3 million. I think that's fair. Okay, yes, he's going into final year of contract, but it's not the point. He's a
No.
big asset for us. He's a big figure in the team at the end of the day. He's a leader on the pitch.
Yeah, he's been an influential figure, and in that team as well for Rovers, particularly last season.
Do you know
I
what
didn't
frustrates me
expect.
more than anything?
Yeah, what frustrates you more than anything?
Eustace the Snake.
Do you think it's down to John Eustace that Lewis Travis wants to go? I think he's
No,
a factor in
no,
now.
but have you noticed though? He complained and said we didn't back him at Rovers. Have you noticed he's brought in Danny Bart, Wyman, he's wanted Dolan, he's been in for bloody hell, my
Callum
mind's gone.
Britton.
Callum Britton, who's gone.
He wanted Callum Britton, didn't he, as
He
well?
wanted Callum Britton. He's now after Travis. He practically want half our squad. My friends who are Rovers fans, and even some of the Burnley fans are calling Derby Rovers now instead of Derby County.
I think with the way a lot of Rovers fans go on about Derby County, we probably have a mutual feelings and emotions of the Rams, like Nottingham Forest fans do with Derby County, with the way we talk about them right now, the way our thoughts and feelings are towards the club. I think John Eustace plays a factor in it, but with the way the pre-season went and the way the season went towards the latter stage of last season, there was no indication that Travis was probably wanting his way out of Rovers.
No,
It didn't look like it from where I was standing at the time.
I agree.
I think it's these poor results, and I think the players that have gone to Derby, like you mentioned, might have probably played a part in that as well.
And he had a good part. He had a good friendship with Eustace when Eustace was in charge.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. I think another thing, looking back, when John Eustace left, he felt that he was quite emotional about that, wasn't he? He was quite hurt by his departure.
Yeah.
And the way that he went.
But this is the thing. To say he wasn't back and then he's coming in for half our bloody players tells me something. Certainly tells me something.
Today, it's understood two bids have been rejected by Derby County. Valerian Ismail spoke quite publicly on Tuesday night about his situation and his desire to leave the football club. Is there anything you can add to that situation at the moment from Derby County's point of view?
No, nothing. Ultimately, I don't really like to talk about any other players who are contracted with other clubs. So, listen, there's a number of players that we've looked at and we've made bids for. So until anything's accepted, then we can't do much about that.
Former captain of yours, though, he comes across as a real leader. Did you enjoy your time working with him?
Yeah, listen, when I was at Blackburn, I enjoyed my time working with all the players there. It was a fantastic group of players to work with. He was no different to any of the other players, and they're all good lads there.
The transfer window does often throw up these sort of situations. Is it harder when it becomes public around a situation where you're trying to go out there and sign a player, just more generally rather than specifics?
Listen, I think there's been a number of players that have been brought from you to me that we're looking to sign, and if we could sign all of them ones you've been saying to me, that would be brilliant. But, listen, we're just concentrating on the group of players that we've got at the moment.
We're trying to improve Derby with half our team. I mean, what's that tell you? He might not have been back to the extent he wanted to be back, but he had a decent squad of players around him.
Yeah, that makes it all the more ironic as well, given the situation as well. I mean, I'm weighing up the pros and cons of Travis going and Travis staying. I think the cons of Travis staying, obviously, if we try and keep hold of him, I think he's going to cause an absolute stinker in the dressing room, disrupt the squad. I think he's going to drag the team down. I mean, as that was announced about his departure, him wanting to leave, the penny sort of dropped. When you look at his performance against West Brom, he wasn't quite there.
No.
So that was a bit of an indicator that his heart's not quite set in it at Rovers. And I mean, as another con for keeping all Travis, obviously he's not going to sign his contract. He's made his mind up. He's going to run down his contract and leave Rovers for nothing. That's what could potentially happen. Now, obviously, there has been interested clubs in Travis besides Derby County, as reports have gone by in this transfer window. You've had Coventry interested in him. You've had Wrexham interested in him. I mean, even if it comes to deadline day and Travis isn't gone, there could potentially be a bidding war for him and Rovers could cash in. But that leaves us quite short because we don't have that reinforcement in the midfield. I mean, the only midfielders we've got with Championship experience is Tronstad and
Yeah.
Cantwell, and we need more. We
And
need more
Buckley,
experience.
maybe.
Yeah, Buckley's another one as well. We do need more Championship experience, and
Agree.
that's one thing this transfer window's highlighted as well with our squad overhaul, which we'll talk about later into the Birmingham game as well. But my stand on it is let Travis go, cash in on him, and while we've got time, hopefully we've got time to spare while Rovers can get a reinforcements into that squad with an experienced midfielder in the Championship. But if Travis is gone by then, it'll be interesting to see how Sondre Tronstad does without him as well in that midfield.
I personally think that we cash in on him, yes, but I don't want us to see us just cash on him, just accept any fee. I think we're entitled, personally, and I know that says a lot to expect to be entitled to something. But I think we're entitled for the level of experience he's going to bring to a team. He's still not that old. He's got plenty of Championship experience, and he's a leader. He's a leader on the pitch as well. I personally think 2.5 to 3 million is not a lot to ask for.
No,
I think that is generally what I think he should be worth.
if we do the business like we did with Callum Britton,
Yes,
I'd be happy with that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I do think we need to cash in because I think keeping hold of him is, like you say, going to hinder the team because we know he wants to go. It could bring a lot of disruption to the side. We're already not off to the best of start, so we really want that negativity in around the team when we're trying to get ourselves going in the season. Probably not.
No, we don't need that. And I think Valerian Ishmael has made a stance on Travis that, coming into the first home game of the season because he wasn't even made it to the squad against Birmingham this week and, over the weekend. So that is very telling that Travis is very much on his way out. And I think he's already prepared and ready for the season for Rovers without Lewis Travis in the squad. So I don't want Rovers to sell Lewis Travis, but if he's made his mind up, he's got his heart set elsewhere, that's his prerogative at the end of the day. And, Rovers have got cash in on him. I don't think they'll take any silly offer, but I think it'll reach a time and go, right, we're going to have to cash him in, otherwise we're going to lose him for free. And I personally don't think it's worth that risk of losing him on a free.
No.
Touching on what we've both said on how he can negatively impact the squad and the dressing room, if he's staying at Rovers,
That's a fair point.
For like throughout the season or even into January, if they decide to sell him on. But I think what makes it really sad about Travis potentially on his way out now as we're recording is that he was a long servant for Rovers. He was released by Liverpool's youngster, came through the ranks at Rovers, made into the first team, part of the team that got promoted from League One into the Championship, part of the team that nearly got us into the playoffs and on the cusp of automatic promotion, the Mowbray. Okay, he had a good spell under JDT, then the relationship between him and JDT went really sour, which consequently got him loaned out to Ipswich. And then when he came back, he was like a new signing, being that revitalised figure in the team and having that energy and drive in the midfield and doing a bit of dark arts as well. He'd grown and matured, but it's, I think John Eustace's departure really unsettled him, I think, in the general scheme of things.
I agree.
And I think Eustace's departure, and I hate to say this, maybe I'm being overly cynical looking at this, I think it's had a bit of a snowball effect on Rovers with the players that have departed and gone to Derby. I know Danny Bart and Andy Vyman are a bit older. I can sort of get that. But if there's going to be any younger players that still got some years ahead of them, like Travis does, I think that hurts a bit more. But Travis is 27. He's, as a footballer goes, he's going to be reaching his prime age.
Yeah.
And into the last 12 months of his contract, I think the best time for us is to cash on him. And I know the club have offered him a new contract, but I think the club is sticking to a wage structure and not stretching it to tie him down, basically. And I think Derby obviously can offer a better wage structure for him. And I hate to say this, and I hate to admit it. But when you look at it like, say if Travis got a 4-year contract on a better wage,
Yeah.
he'll be 31,
Yeah.
and a lot can change in them 4 years. So I can sort of see where the club is going through on that side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But we could have a higher stock value for him, say if he gets even better, and other clubs, have a look at him, particularly bigger clubs. But I think losing to a championship rival is bad enough in itself. But losing to Derby County, I think, makes it more painful.
No, I can't disagree.
But this raises the questions of like the contracts of some of our other senior players. Like Dom Hyams is another one that needs sorting. He's part of the spine of the squad, like Travis was. Then you've got Sondra Tronstad. That needs sorting out as well. But
Sorry,
I think they're it's all right. And I think they're the two other players that really need sorting out with their contracts. And maybe Ryan Hedges as well, as senior players go. And I know some fans are quite critical of Hedges, but I think he's a valuable squad player for us at the moment in time. But other than that, not much to talk about with transfers. Charlie Olsen, one of our youngsters, has been loaned out to Oldham Athletic. Gone for a season-long loan.
Nothing wrong with giving him experience, so.
Yeah, that's it. And there's rumours that Harry Leonard is going to be loaned out. And speaking of Leonard, I was quite surprised he didn't make the
I
team
thought he might have played.
in the
I thought
cup
he might
round.
have played. Exactly,
Yeah,
against Bradford, yeah.
And I thought Malarkey Matthews would have given some minutes as well, but
Yeah.
he wasn't. They didn't choose to play him.
No,
Which is quite
I
weird.
definitely thought Leonard would have got a get a bit of game time against Bradford, but there you go. What do I know?
Yeah, what do we know?
Anyway, speaking of a team that's actually doing pretty well in League One at the moment, kind of a little segue now to go on to a team that's just come up from League One in Birmingham, who we played against this weekend. Today, in fact.
Yeah, today as we record this, yeah. I was quite apprehensive about the game. I was looking at the odds, what predictions were, and obviously a lot of people fancied Birmingham getting a win, which they did. But some people thought that Birmingham were going to run away with that win, which they didn't. And to be fair to Rovers, they did quite well against Birmingham. I know the result was very frustrating.
I watched the game, and I was actually, throughout the game, I was excited, thinking, especially when, obviously we'll get onto the goals and that shortly, but when we went 1-0 up and there was a couple of chances where I thought we were going to get a second, and the momentum with us, I thought we're going to get another here, and we're going to go on to win this comfortably. And then there's a period towards the end where they started to get back into it, and they started to play us around a bit more and run us a bit more ragged, and we started to flail and start to come under a lot more pressure, and that's then kind of how the game changed.
Yeah, anyway, they resorted to the dark arts and physicality, didn't they, to try and rough us up. But credit to Rovers, we showed no mercy against Birmingham when they tried roughing us up and doing that psychological warfare. We just concentrated on trying to get something out of that game. To be fair to Rovers, the first half though was very cagey, very scrappy affair.
It was a cagey affair.
They looked like that no sides were going to surrender, and there weren't much between Rovers and Birmingham.
It was pretty even. I did feel like we edged it the first half, but it did feel pretty even.
Yeah, I mean, Yuri Ribeiro had a shot on goal which hit the woodwork, but Ohashi was offside in that first half, and Birmingham had a shot on goal which Toth saved, which didn't trouble him at all. But other than that, there was not much between them. But Cantwell looked quite dangerous on the counter attack. I was a bit when I saw that Cantwell got the captain's armband, I really wasn't sure what to think at the time because Cantwell for me doesn't strike me as a typical leader. But as I thought about it, Todd Cantwell likes to be the main man as well. So you can sort of see that why Ishmael might have picked him as our skipper.
Yeah.
Which could be, dare I say it, something of a bit of a masterstroke. Because whereas Travis has got the energy and the work rate, Todd Cantwell is more about the brains and the operations of dictating play in that.
He's a clever player, isn't he?
Park. Yeah, exactly. And Cantwell was really good with picking out the passes and reading the game. which really helped Rovers going forward onto the counter-attack, which it was more apparent that he was missed in the game against West Brom last week. It was really good to have Cantwell back. You know, I thought he was a good influence on the team in that midfield. I thought there was all right link-up play between him, Tavares and Tronstad, and he can pick out them passes. I thought Cantwell played really well, and then obviously a really decent goal for him as well, which he got
Nice finish on him,
just as we started the second half.
I joked with my friend at the time. I was on the phone to him at the time. I mean, just as we scored, and I was watching the ball, and I was like, "Oh, we're playing pinball wizard in the box," because it was literally a game of heading back and forth, and then it just dropped on the volley for Cantwell. He hit it first time on the volley, nice and low, rifled. I think it actually went through. I'm trying to figure out who it was legs now. It went through one of our players' legs and it went straight into corner.
Yeah, it was a bit of a dummy as well. Yeah. No, it was a neat finish from Cantwell with that.
It was a lovely finish from Cantwell.
It was a lovely finish. I mean, there were one occasion we could have like doubled our lead when Ryan Hedges was on the left wing and crossed the ball to Carabao.
I thought Carabao was going to do that in the net with his head.
I thought he wasn't gonna win that duel, but Carabao got the ball and headed it, but he was on target, but it wasn't powerful enough, that header.
It completely put the keeper the wrong way. Went right across the full length of goal and just whizzed past the edge of the far post, and it was unfortunate, really. I thought there was a chance he was going to get that on target and score there. I really thought, hey, this is 2.
Yeah.
And this wasn't to be, and I think he was even disappointed it wasn't on target.
Yeah,
but it was close.
Yeah, there was frustration on Cogbo's part. Cogbo played on the right though, which I thought was, you mentioned this before. I thought, we could play Cogbo on the right.
He was very good on the right and all. I thought he was fantastic.
He was more effective on the right than I were anticipating. And Ryan Hedges, I know he has his critics, but I thought he played quite well today.
I thought he played all right.
And linking up play with you, Ribeiro. I thought there was a good link up play between Ribeiro and Hedges.
One of the downsides, I think. Is it Alibiosu?
Yeah, Ryan Alibiosu.
He was brilliant, I thought, today. And then
with his strength.
Strength and his pace. I thought he didn't really put too much wrong, and then he got injured.
Yeah, that was a real shame. He got took off the stretcher, which
that's when the game changed. I felt I kind of felt he was one of those players who could pick up things when they came on the counter, when we were pushing for another goal, and they came on the counter. And I think we lost a good player there that helped us at the back.
Yeah, it took away the width and the pace, didn't it? There when Ryan Alibiosu was taken off on the stretcher, which is really unfortunate because I thought he put in a really good shift today.
I thought he was fantastic.
Tavares looked quite sharp, quite lively though in that midfield. I mean, he was strong and he was a strength in that midfield when he was the brawn and brains in that midfield. I know Tronstad has the brain and brawns as well, but
he could be the person that takes over Travis's spot. He really could be. I think he could be the person to fill Travis's boots.
Yeah, it does look like that though as well from judging over the past couple of games, and I think Tronstad will be the single holding midfielder for Rovers going forward. I think for Tronstad, and I don't mean to sound negative or disrespectful towards Travis saying this, but I think Tronstad can just concentrate on that midfield as his space without looking at what Travis is doing and asking what Travis is doing and vice versa. I think that might give Tronstad a bit more free rein and get stuck in on the defensive duties while Tavares can help him if needs be further up the pitch. And then you've got the link up behind with McLaughlin and Hyam with Tronstad as well. So
Tavares is a football player who can link that play from defence to attack.
Yeah,
so you've got Tronstad helping win the duel, play it off to Tavares, and Tavares is then the one who can open up the change the way the game's going.
And that's it. And I mean, him and Cantwell could be quite like the attacking front as well on helping in that midfield. But, there's been a squad overhaul with Rovers in general. So there's going to be teething problems when there's been a squad overhaul. It's going to take time for the team to gel as well. And there are glimpses that there can be a good team there. It's just that we need to gel and we need to get the squad bedded in and quickly though. That's the worrying thing. And
I
I
was
know
just
it's too.
surprised in the manner that we lost it in the end.
Yeah,
I think
no,
it was a little bit sloppy and a little bit needless.
yeah. I mean, it was a soft goal, weren't it, as well against Birmingham as well.
The penalty was needless. We didn't need to do that.
No,
It was a bit
that was
sloppy defensively, and then it was a soft penalty to give away. And once they got that penalty and got that goal, that then gave them a bit of an edge and a bit more belief. But credit to us, we went back up there trying to get that second goal again. Their keeper made a couple of good saves, but throwing everybody at it to try and get a goal left us so vulnerable at the back. And when you've not got the paces players left on the pitch, because Alabiasu got taken off injured just before they scored the equaliser with the penalty.
And do you know what else as well? Cantwell being taken off as well by that point. That took away the creativity as well. I mean, we're more relying on Tavares for actually being a bit more creative.
And then obviously they hit us on the counter. And what was it? 5v1? And when I say 5v1, it was one defender and 5 of them breaking over the halfway line all at the same time. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Yeah, that set piece was terrible from us. That gifted Birmingham the second goal as well. Because when we took the set piece, it was shocking. There was no organisation from that defence. Individually, I think McLaughlin and Hyam have done quite well. I mean, Hyam was unlucky not to get a goal actually with the aerial duel as well, which was on target. But I think they're still learning, aren't they, to play as a defensive pair as well.
Yeah, they're quite fresh together, aren't they? So
yeah, so they need to learn fast as well to be that defensive pairing coming into this season. So that, like I said, it's a squad in transition. It's a season in transition.
It was just a slop. I mean, I could have accepted 1-1. And I would have been felt a little bit aggrieved there at 1-1, but I felt Birmingham did deserve something out of the game. They pressed us towards the end, and we started to look a little bit shaky towards the end. Despite I think most of the second half we were in control. That last 10 minutes they started to come back at us, and I felt like there's a chance they could score. When they got that penalty, it was a careless penalty, but fair enough. I felt they'd earned themselves a point, but to give away the second that badly,
it hurts more, doesn't it, as well?
There's a lot of positives to take from us, but there's some major negatives that really need to be addressed rather quickly as well to avoid us being in a position where we're looking at the bottom half of the table rather than the top half of the table, which is not where we want to be looking, let's be honest.
Yeah, we're not. We're the only few teams in the Championship now not yet to get a result, not yet to get a draw or a win. So
we should have been walking out of that game with at least a point.
Yeah, I think a point would have been a fair result for Rovers and Birmingham. But you know what? Fair play to Birmingham. Not just the quality they've got with the squad that they've got, with how much is spent on investing into their squad, but it's also the quality, the grit, and the determination that was shown by Chris Davis' side. Fair play to him. I've got to commend Birmingham for that. And I might sound a bit salty, but they did have a little bit of luck on their side. When
at the other end of the pitch, yes.
Yeah, when
we could have had a couple of penalty shouts.
Yeah, exactly. Was it when Lewis Miller did the long throw, and then there was a duel, and then one of their defenders did a handball, which I thought, yeah, that's a penalty.
It wasn't just that. Hashi got manhandled a couple of times.
He did. But Samuel, Birmingham's as a wide boy on the left-hand side, he was quite lucky to get a yellow card from that. I think Chris Davis did make the smart decision to take him off because we weren't showing any mercy when he tried to rough us up. But it's when you win football matches, you got to have a little bit of luck on your side as well.
A little bit of luck, and sometimes you've got to win ugly, and that's how they did it.
Yeah, absolutely. But we knew that we had to try and play ugly to try and get something against Birmingham as well. So
they just played uglier.
Yeah, well, it was the quality, weren't it, from their team that shone through as well. So it's unlucky. I think it was a frustrating result. Not the worst performance, but
not the stronger one for this season, was it?
Nah, there is definitely room for improvement. So I think that just sums up everything at the moment for Rovers. It's not been a great week. Hopefully there can be some improvements, and hopefully we can get something out of our games. Our next game is against Hull away, so I don't think that's going to be an easy game. So
I don't think it is. I think Hull are a good team this season.
that's everything with Totally Rovers this week. What are your thoughts and opinions on the games this week against Bradford with our Carabao Cup crash? What do you make of Lewis Travis's situation at the club and his potential exit? And then last but not least, yeah, what a travesty. And last but not least is the narrow 2-1 defeat to Birmingham. Let us know in the comment section down below, and we'll see you next week on Totally Rovers. See you next week.
Good everybody.